Hello and welcome back to another Speedpaint slash movie review, or movie review slash Speedpaint, whatever you'd like to call it. As always, this illustration was done using Procreate. It's my go-to software. It's probably my favorite drawing program that I've ever used personally. And for the record, I'm not sponsored. I just really enjoy this app. That said, we're going to be talking about Ghost Cat Anzu today. This is my second anime review. Again, you'll be seeing a lot more of those in the future. But that said, Ghost Cat Anzu was actually one of the more highly anticipated movies at the Animationist Film Festival, which I attended last week. And I was ready to be instantly biased toward this film because I love anime that are centered on yokai. And I'm glad to say that overall I enjoyed this movie, but it's not perfect. Now, first off, this film is a bit unique in that it was actually shot as a live-action film and then rotoscoped, which is a bit more of a step up from when they usually use live-action for reference. I mean, live-action for reference is standard practice in animation, but for there to be an entire live-action version of this movie that was shot on a professional level, that's very interesting, and it makes me wonder if it'll be released as a bonus feature. Now, the overall aesthetic looks great since the team didn't rely simply on copying the live action footage, but instead using it as reference, with many fantastical shots, not having any reference at all. And it's a very aesthetically pleasing look as well. I mean, it's very consistent. I mean, the live action footage, I think, would be interesting to see and compare and contrast because I thought they captured the look and feel of that town beautifully. But when it comes to the actual story and the characters, the title character himself, Anzu, is adorable. He's crude. He's just a lot of fun to watch. And the rest of the yokai are also very fun to watch. And honestly, the whole lot of them could just carry their own movie. But the actual human protagonist is a bit of a different story. On the one hand, she's a bit bratty and understandably bitter, given that her father essentially abandons her to go off to pay some shady debts. And the issue I have is that she can be a bit of a stark contrast to what is otherwise a very peaceful and delightful town, with many kind residents as they show. And this stood out to me not really in the best way because, she and her father weren't present in the original manga that this movie is based on. So their entire story is, exclusive to this movie. And she gives the film some urgency, I suppose, but, at least one part of her family's story is never really resolved, and it leaves some rather disturbing unanswered questions that I feel just really clash with this movie's tone. And I hate to be this vague, but again, I'm not trying to spoil this movie for anybody. It comes out next month and I don't want to give anything away. Maybe I'll do a follow-up where I'll discuss this, with a spoiler warning. But that said, overall, I still think it's worth checking out despite that one little hiccup, or maybe kind of a big hiccup. And I do think it's worth seeing. And I do hope it gets a sequel, just perhaps with a more likable protagonist, for him to support or play off of. So, that said, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you once again. If you like this video, and, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Let's get a discussion going if you've already seen this movie, or if you do see this movie in the future, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. With that said, thank you very much, and I'll see you all at the next one.